Nebuchadnezzar's Golden Image, Chapter 3, Part 1. King Nebuchadnezzar made an image of gold, 60 cubits high and 6 cubits wide. He set up on the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Then King Nebuchadnezzar summoned the satraps, prefects, governors, counselors, treasurers, judges, magistrates, and all the authorities of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Then the satraps, administrators, governors, counselors, treasurers, judges, magistrates, and all the authorities of the provinces assembled for the dedication of the image that King Nebuchadnezzar had erected. They stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then the herald loudly proclaimed, "You are commanded, O peoples, nations, and languages, that when you hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipes, and all kinds of music, you must fall down and worship the golden image that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up. Whoever does not fall down and worship will that same hour be thrown into the midst of a furnace of blazing fire." Therefore, as soon as all the peoples heard the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, and pipes, and all kinds of music, all the peoples, nations, and languages fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. The fiery furnace at that time, certain Chaldeans came forward and denounced the Jews. They spoke up and said to King Nebuchadnezzar, "May the king live forever. You, O king, made a decree that everyone who hears the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, pipes, and all kinds of music must fall down and worship the golden image, and that whoever does not fall down and worship will be thrown into the midst of a furnace of blazing fire. There are certain Jews whom you appointed over the administration of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Those men pay no heed to you, O king. They do not serve your gods, nor will they worship the golden image that you have set up." Furious with rage, Nebuchadnezzar ordered Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to be summoned. When these men were brought before the king, Nebuchadnezzar responded to them, saying, "Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you don't serve my gods or worship the golden image that I set up? Now if you are ready at the moment you hear the sound of the horn, flute, zither, lyre, harp, and pipes, and all kinds of music, you must fall down and worship the image that I have made. But if you do not worship, you will immediately be thrown into the midst of a furnace of blazing fire. Then what God will be able to deliver you out of my hands?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego replied to the king, saying, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to answer you concerning this matter. If it is so, our God whom we serve is able to save us from the furnace of blazing fire, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. Yet even if he does not, let it be known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods, nor worship the golden image that you set up." Then Nebuchadnezzar was filled with rage, and the appearance of his face changed toward Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He ordered the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter than it was normally heated, and commanded some of the mighty men in his army to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into a furnace of blazing fire. So these men, wearing their robes, tunics, hats, and other clothes, were bound and thrown into the furnace of blazing fire. But because the king's order was so urgent and the furnace so extremely hot, a raging flame killed those men who carried up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell bound into the midst of the furnace of blazing fire. Then King Nebuchadnezzar was astonished and leapt to his feet. He asked his ministers, "Didn't we cast 3 men bound into the middle of the fire?" They replied to the king, "Surely, O king." But he answered, saying, "Look, I see 4 men walking about unbound and unharmed in the middle of the fire, and the 4th has the appearance like a son of the gods." Nebuchadnezzar then approached the door of the furnace of blazing fire and exclaimed, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out and come here." So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out from the middle of the fire. When the satraps, administrators, governors, and royal ministers had gathered around, they saw that the fire had no effect on the bodies of these men. Not a hair of their head was singed, nor were their robes scorched, nor was there a smell of fire on them. Nebuchadnezzar exclaimed, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants who trusted in him. They defied the king's edict and gave up their lives rather than serve or worship any god except their own God. Therefore I hereby decree that any people, nation, or language that says anything slanderous against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego will be torn limb from limb, and their house made a pile of rubble, because there is no other God that is able to deliver in this way." Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon, King Nebuchadnezzar, to all peoples, nations, and languages who dwell in all the earth. May your peace abound. It seemed good to me to declare the signs and wonders that God Most High has done for me. How great are his signs! How mighty are his wonders! His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, his dominion from generation to generation.